ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we are reading from the 8th canto, chapter 20, text 1. Bali Maharaj surrenders the universe. So kindly repeat, we'll read the verse first. Sri Shuka Uvacha Balir evam Grihapatihi Kulacharyena Bhashitaha Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvachito Avahito Gurum. Sri Shuka Uvacha Balir evam Grihapatihi Kulacharyena Bhashitaha Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Sri Shuka Uvacha Balir evam Grihapatihi Kulacharyena Bhashitaha Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Sri Shuka Uvacha Balir evam Grihapatihi Kulacharyena Bhashitaha Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Sri Shuka Uvacha Balir evam Grihapatihi Kulacharyena Bhashitaha Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Mataji. Sri Shuka Uvacha Balir evam Grihapatihi Kulacharyena Bhashitaha Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Sri Shuka Uvacha Balir evam Grihapatihi Kulacharyena Bhashitaha Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Sri Shuka Uvacha. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, Balihi Bali Maharaj Evam thus Grihapatihi, the master of the household affairs, although guided by the priest. Kulacharyena, by the family acharya or guide. Bhashitaha, being thus addressed. Tushnim, silent, bhutva, becoming, kshanam, for a moment, Rajan, O king, Maharaj Parikshit, Uvacha, said, Avahitaha, after full deliberation, Gurum, unto his spiritual master. Translation: Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, O King Parikshit, when Bali Maharaj was thus advised by his spiritual master Shukracharya, his family priest, he remained silent for some time and then, after full deliberation, he replied to his spiritual master as follows. This is a very awesome purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada purport ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Bali Maharaj remained silent at a critical point. How could he disobey the instruction of Shukracharya, his spiritual master? It is a duty of such a sober personality as Bali Maharaj to abide by the orders of his spiritual master immediately, as his spiritual master had advised. But Bali Maharaj also considered that Shukracharya was no longer to be accepted as a spiritual master, for he has deviated from the duty of a spiritual master. According to Shastra, the duty of Guru is to take the disciple back home, back to Godhead. If he is unable to do so and instead hinders the disciple in going back to Godhead, he should not be a Guru. Gurur na sasyat, Bhagavatam 5:18. One should not become a Guru if he cannot enable his disciple to advance in Krishna consciousness. The goal of life is to become a devotee of Lord Krishna so that one may be freed from the bondage of material existence. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti soarjuna. The spiritual master helps the disciple attain this stage by developing Krishna consciousness. Now, Shukracharya had advised Bali Maharaj to deny the promise to Vamanadev. Under the circumstances, therefore, Bali Maharaj thought that there would be no fault if he disobeyed the order of his spiritual master. He deliberated on this point. Should he refuse to accept the advice of his spiritual master, or should he independently do everything to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He took some time. Therefore, it is said, Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Avahito Gurum. After deliberating on this point, he decided that Lord Vishnu should be pleased in all circumstances, even at the risk of ignoring the Guru's advice to the contrary. Anyone who is supposed to be a Guru but who goes against the principles of Vishnu Bhakti cannot be accepted as a Guru. If one has falsely accepted such a Guru, one should reject him. Such a Guru is described as follows. Mahabharata, Udyog Parva, 179.25. Guror api avaliptasya karya karyam ajanataha utpatha pratipannasya parityago vidhiyate. Srila Jiva Goswami had advised that such a useless guru, a family priest acting as a guru, should be given up, and that the proper bona fide guru should be accepted. Shat karma nipuno vipro mantra tantra visharadaha avaishnavo gurur nasyad vaishnava shvapacho guruhu. A scholarly Brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava. But if a person born in a family of lower caste is a Vaishnava, he can become a spiritual master. Padma Puran. Srila Prabhupada purports ki Jai. Let us offer our prayers to Parampara. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुता पदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। I'll read the translation again. Sri Shukdev Goswami said, O King Parikshit, when Bali Maharaj was thus advised by his spiritual master Shukracharya, his family priest, he remained silent for some time, and then, after full deliberation, he replied to his spiritual master as follows. So, this particular chapter is explaining Bali Maharaj's surrender to the universe. In previous chapter, Bali Maharaj, who was actually the emperor of all the demons, he comes in the lineage of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu's son Prahlad Maharaj, his son Virochan, Virochan's son Bali Maharaj. So demons always wants to conquer heavenly planets. There is constant fight going on between demigods and demons because material resources are limited, and both of them want to exploit them as much as possible. So with the advice of Shukracharya, because even Shukracharya was the guru for Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha also. Shukracharya is a fantastic spiritual master, or he's a fantastic master to guide how to excel in this particular universe, how to exploit resources of this material nature. And he knows Vedas in and out, particularly the sections which explains how to elevate one's position within the material world. So with the guidance of Shukracharya, demons were able to acquire a lot of mystic powers, so much so that they were able to defeat all the demigods, drive them out of heavens. And similarly, Bali Maharaj, in previous chapter, he actually drove out all such demigods from the heavenly planets, and he was residing in the heavens. Now the demigods had no shelter, no place to go, and they had then thus approached Brahmaji. And Brahmaji, in turn, because Brahma is the only personality who has a direct heart-to-heart connection to Ksharodakshaya Vishnu, and he requested Ksharodakshaya Vishnu to resolve this particular matter. Now, as most of you know the structure of universe, in the bottom of universe we have this Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from whose navel the lotus flower comes up, and on the top of this universe is a milk ocean where Ksharodakshaya Vishnu lies, and near to that planet there is a Dhruva planet, and Brahmaloka happens to be at the top part of the universe. So when Brahmaji wants any kind of solution, he goes on the shore of Ksharodakshaya, this Ksharodak ocean, the ocean of milk, and he meditates and communicates to Ksharodakshaya Vishnu heart to heart. So in this particular case, Brahmaji, when he explained the situation, now what has happened in material world. So Brahmaji got instruction from Ksharodakshaya Vishnu that Vishnu himself will take an incarnation as son of Aditi and Kashyap. So this okay, one more thing is whatever avatars we see in this particular world, they come via Ksharodakshaya Vishnu. So even Narsimha Dev or even Vamana avatar, they all have their eternal spiritual planets, and they appear in this particular world through Ksharodakshaya Vishnu, through the passage of Ksharodakshaya Vishnu. So when Vamana Dev appeared as a son of Aditi and Kashyap, he was very beautiful. He was having all his reservoir of all good qualities. His speech and everything was very attractive, and then he was blessed by all the other gods, and and they all requested him to go and try to negotiate with the Bali Maharaj. So when Vamandev approached Bali Maharaj in this particular previous chapter, Bali Maharaj just thought that he is one of the other Brahmana boy, and he welcomed him. Looks very harmless because he comes with only one staff. And then Bali Maharaj specifically asked that you can ask me whatever you need and I'll definitely provide it. So Vamanadeva very diplomatically, he first glorified Bali Maharaj lineage, saying that in none of your predecessors, uh, it never happened that they promised something and they took it back. So you are coming in such a great lineage. He specifically glorified Prahlad Maharaj, and then even his own father, Bali Maharaj father Virochan, when he was getting too powerful, he was again demigods in the disguise of Brahmanas. They had approached him, and when Virochana asked, "What do you want in charity?" then he requested, demigods requested him, "We need remaining duration of your life." So in that sense, he was kind of cheated, but Virochana still thought that demigods they have came in the form of Brahmanas and need to give them charity whatever they asked for. And then after the demise of Virochan, Bali Maharaj took over. Now, when this Brahmana boy had come and he spoke so nicely, gently, and what he asked was, "Give me only 3 paces of land to the measurement of my feet." And when Bali Maharaj heard this unusual this request that only 3 paces of land, so Bali Maharaj told that I am a king of heavens. In fact, I'm king of all these 3 planetary systems. Once anybody asks from me, he doesn't have to ask from anybody else. So you ask from me, whatever you find is appropriate, and I'll definitely grant everything. And then Vamanadev replied that if I'm not satisfied, if somebody is not satisfied with little bit whatever they need, then that such person can never be satisfied. And even Prabhupada says that uh, anybody whose senses are not controlled, even the entire universe is not enough for them. And he gave the example of Maharaj Gaya and Maharaj Prithu. They had conquered all these 7 Bharatavarshas, these 7 islands, and Jambudvip and all these islands, and still they are looking forward how we can expand our kingdom. So Vamanadev told particularly that if I am not happy with these 3 pieces of land, I will not be happy with anybody else. It is a duty of Brahmana to be very satisfied with whatever is been given. So when he repeatedly says, I just need only 3 pieces of land, then Bali Maharaj says, so be it. And he says that I will do whatever is needful. As soon as Bali Maharaj says that particular word, Shukracharya gets his revelation that this personality who has come up is none other than Vishnu. And immediately he starts quoting different scriptures to Bali Maharaj, how it is absolutely fine to backtrack your promise if your own life, your own kingdom, and all this, your opulence is getting threatened. And he again instructed the similar knowledge to Bali Maharaj, how it is very important to keep on increasing one's opulence, one's material prosperity while in this universe. And for that sake, he in fact tells that if you grant this land, these 3 pieces of land to this Brahmana boy, he will take over the entire universe. Your entire kingdom will be gone. In fact, he will take over the entire kingdom in just 2 pieces. You will not have enough promise. You will not be able to fulfill your promise. And Shukracharya very earnestly asked Bali Maharaj to backtrack. This is promise. And in the latter verses, even he says that if you do not listen to me, I will curse you that all your opulences will be destroyed. You will have nothing with you. So Shukracharya, although he was a very nice master to guide someone to how to progress in this particular spiritual world, in this particular material world, but when it comes to the context of Vishnu, because Shukracharya himself was not a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, he was not a Vaishnava, he could not guide his disciple Bali Maharaj on this particular right path. Now, Bali Maharaj, of course, as a family priest, he had guidance from Shukracharya, but he had one more personality from whom he got a awesome guidance in his life. Who was he? Prahlad Maharaj, right? His own grandfather. It's very popular. Grandfathers, they like to tell so many stories to their grandkids. And Prahlad Maharaj, he himself had heard so many stories, knowledge from Narad Muni. He himself has witnessed Narsimha Deva's entire pastime. So Prahlad Maharaj being grandfather, he had done his duty perfectly. Bali Maharaj knew in and out who is Lord Vishnu, what is the purpose of life, and what at critical moment on what basis I should take my decisions in life. So Bali Maharaj was very very clear that if he is Vishnu, then I should simply just surrender and give everything to him. And even if he is not a Vishnu, if he is just a simple Brahmana boy, still I should not backtrack. So he backtrack from the principles of religion. So Bali Maharaj, he was very very clear on the priorities, that which scripture or which principles lies in higher compared to material prosperity or any other progress. So this moment when Shukracharya, in this particular verse, in the previous chapter, Shukracharya had specifically told not to go ahead and cancel his promise. Bali Maharaj took a pause, and this pause was glorified by Prabhupada because he quoted the entire line, Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Avahito Gurum. So this Avahito means after full deliberation. So Bali Maharaj considered all the pros and cons. This system of counseling, because Bali Maharaj, fortunately, he had his own spiritual foundational very nicely set up with the consultation with Prahlad Maharaj as well. So Bali Maharaj had built up his foundation to take specific decision. I happen to come from one of the community in India where the system called as counselor system was introduced, where any senior devotees, they can guide some couple of devotees on regular basis, so that we have some regular Krishna Katha going on in small groups. It's always nice to have a small groups, because then we can know each other, we can develop nice friendship with each other. And it's not possible where thousands of devotees just come over the Sunday feast. So the facility was created where small groups of devotees can come together and conduct Krishna Katha, and of course there was a facilitator who can drive this. So the motive and purpose was really very nice, but later on, it so happened that some of these followers, they started asking even material questions, that where should I buy my apartment, where should I invest my money, whom I should get married, where should I send my kid to which university, all this kind of guidance. Although the counselor, he tried his best to guide on the spiritual basis, but later on, being the material world, of course, later on some things, decisions were not so right, returns were not good, or investments were in negative or whatever, and then they started blaming counselor. So for this particular verse, I wanted to emphasize one point, that it's very important that as a follower, one has to nourish his spiritual intelligence. He should know uh, what things to ask from whom, and most importantly, own your own decision. So fortunately, my own counselor, Krishna Kishore Prabhu, his style is, he teaches, or whenever I ask some question, he doesn't say that I'm just a spiritual counselor and that's it. But he gives guidance from different angles, and he specifically mentions that final decision has to be yours. Deliberate from all these different angles and take your own decision. So when person takes such a decision, it actually helps him, and because later on, even if things go wrong, he remains grateful at that point of time, depending on whatever information I took some decision, and now outcome is so and so. I should own and take the responsibility of my own life, whatever decision the outcome might be. So from counselor perspective or spiritual instructor perspective, it's very important, after giving guidance, be detached from the guidance. Even Krishna, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, what he said to Arjuna, now I have given all the knowledge to you, O Arjuna. Now yathachasi tatha kuru. You deliberate on all the knowledge, take your own decision. So it's very important. Even when Krishna, so many times in Bhagavad Gita, he kept on repeating this particular part, that you do your duty, you do your duty with full dedication and everything, and then at the end be detached from the results. Right? So Krishna himself actually practiced, after speaking this Bhagavad Gita in and out to Arjuna, at the end Krishna was actually detached. And when he saw Arjuna was still in confusion, then Krishna went ahead and then as a friend he guided him. that don't worry, I will take results of sinful activities. You go ahead and fight. So means there will not be what is that verse, Prabhuji? 1866. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. So that was Arjuna had a special relationship with Krishna, but otherwise in general we should be after with whatever intelligence we have after giving advice. Most importantly, be detached from advice. Here Shukracharya actually did everything wrong, right from starting guiding, quoting the lower scriptures, lower Shruti Shastras, telling that you should how one should progress materially, asking disciple not to give something to Vishnu even if Vishnu is asking him. Later on, being remaining attached to his advice that I have given you advice. If you don't follow it, I curse you that you lose your opulence. So start to end was extremely fitting to any kind of materialistic counselor. But when it comes to spiritual guidance, the person who is giving guidance, he should be very honest. He should, without any kind of ulterior motives, whatever knowledge he has, he should guide. If he doesn't know, he should guide him to the proper other spiritual authority. Most importantly, remain detached from after giving the proper guidance. And from the disciple perspective, from the person who is asking the guidance, he also should have developed his own spiritual intelligence. He cannot just say that, okay, if I'm asking from some spiritual personality, whatever he speaks is just 100%, I just follow blindly. In case of Bali Maharaj, he happened to be, I mean, he had no choice because Shukracharya was not just he was a family priest. He cannot just fire him just like that. He was his family priest, but he took his own decision that I may not follow Shukracharya at this particular instance. So it was his entire material opulence was at stake, and still he decided that I will go ahead and implement what my heart says. And with his deliberation, he decided that first thing, I will not backtrack from the religious principle. Even if he is a Vishnu, I'll go ahead and give him promise. In fact, he was actually thinking if he's actually Vishnu who has come, then it is the purpose of my life to surrender unto him. And as we can see, because he was in the same consciousness, later on, Vamanadev expanded within a 2 steps. He took in one step, he took the planets, all the lower planets and heavenly planets, and then the next step, he took the entire outer space. So and so it is said that when Lord Vamanadev's thumb, when it broke the top of the universe, what happened? Yeah, this water of this Karanodakshai ocean, first time it entered into universe. First thing what it did is it washed the lotus feet of Vamanadeva, and that same water started flowing in heavenly planets, and it also flows on the earth in the form of water of Ganges. So this nice pastime connected to the Lord Vamanadeva. But after covering this entire universe in 2 phases, when Vamanadeva told Bali Maharaj, you are not now this, he owns now an entire universe. Although Bali Maharaj conquered it, now he has given it in charity. So Vamanadeva he owns the entire universe. Then he asked um, Bali Maharaj that you are not able to fulfill your promise. So this is your an offense and you need to be arrested. So Garuda actually used the Varuna Pash, he arrested Bali Maharaj, and then he asked how you are going to fulfill your promise. Lord was looking for that one final step from Bali Maharaj, and it was just a brink where Lord was waiting that Bali Maharaj to take this step so that Lord can reciprocate and glorify him back. So Bali Maharaj then surrendered. He told that you can put your third step on my head. So that means it's on his own ego. That's what he surrendered. And Lord was so happy. He granted Bali Maharaj the Sutala planetary system, which is actually more opulent than heavenly planets. And Lord Vaman, he took the role of just a watchman, yeah, gatekeeper at this particular planet. And it so happened that this particular palace, he had these 4 entrances, and then Lord Vamana requested Bali Maharaj, can you just come from only one entrance so that life becomes easier for me, rather I don't have to run to all the 4 entrances from where you'll be coming. So Lord in turn actually reciprocated. Lord kind of took a servitude position for for Bali Maharaj. But before that, Bali Maharaj had to take a right decision. He has to apply his own spiritual intelligence. and he has to, of course, go to the step of surrender as well. So today we'll have.
His co-founder Maharaj will not give at the time planned. It will be later. So you can easily keep going.
Okay.
I mean, as you wish. But I just heard that Maharaj will give later than planned.
Okay.
No hurry.
Okay, fine. So basically, it was planned that Maharaj might be leaving at 8:45, and we are supposed to close the session at 8:30. So anyway, I might contribute some more points, but I would like to ask if any of you have any specific questions. We can discuss them now from this passage or this particular purport from Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu.
Demons are in the mode of passion,
Mhm.
and so is Brahma.
Mhm.
And when we can observe that they have a lot of prowess, they're very ambitious, a lot of resources. Srila Prabhupada was very expert in employing the demons, making them devotees. It was a time when the movement was very powerful in the world. So I noticed the Sattva Gun and the detached ascetic Vaishnavas are not so empowered sometimes. They appear to be rather detached. They're not in the positions of power and control in this day and age. So I wonder your perspective on it when we think of demons or the prowess of the demons, utilizing this in the service of the Sankirtan mission. How the devotees can become tap more into their power and become more resourceful in their service to Lord Krishna, rather than being poor and somewhat not so well positioned in this world. It's a tendency, not everyone.
Yes, yeah, I understood. So you are asking this particular question that the demons are passionate. This being passionate gives you quality to rule or excel in this particular material world. We want to use this quality of being passionate in devotional service, and how we can expand this movement, right? Yeah. So even Brahma, although actually it is said he is in charge of passion, Brahma, actually speaking, in his heart, he is in charge of mode of passion, but he is actually in mode of pure good, almost in mode of pure goodness, because he can talk to Vishnu heart to heart. That means he is actually in the mode of in his core. He understands the whole universe and he practices mode of goodness. Even Lord Shiva, he is in charge of mode of ignorance, but he is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. He keeps on remembering and meditating on the Lord all the while in his heart. So this great personalities doesn't Lord Shiva doesn't mean he's in great mode of ignorance, or Lord Brahma is in mode of passion. So these great personalities, they are in charge of certain modes, but still after knowing all the philosophy, they are in mode of pure goodness. So what is inside the heart, that matters most. When it came to Bhagavad Gita, so Arjuna was
That wasn't the question. That wasn't the question.
Okay, can you repeat then again?
How we as devotees can become more empowered,
Yes,
rather than detached and disempowered.
yes, I'm coming to that. Yes. So in Bhagavad Gita, this Arjuna, what was his qualification? Even before starting Bhagavad Gita, he was already a very skillful archer. Okay, he had acquired skills of shooting arrows without even looking at target. Just by hearing them, he could shoot the target. He can change the direction and speed of his arrows with the control of his mind. And he has acquired so many weapons from these heavenly planets. So he was completely skilled at executing his duty. And the problem was, his heart was not there while starting the Bhagavad Gita. He was not convinced from within about the causes. Why should I fight? So having skills is one thing, but if heart is not at right place, the conviction is not there. Arjuna was feeling very weak at the heart, that I have to fight with so much of my relatives, I have to kill my elders and all these things, and so many other people are going to suffer so much of sinful reaction. He was not convinced from within. So whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken to convince Arjuna from various angles why he should fight. And with very cool headed, so it is said that Arjuna, this buddhi yoga which Krishna mentions, is executing the karma yoga activities on the solid platform of Jnana Yoga with the loving intention towards Lord, that is Bhakti Yoga. So this Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, it need to be practiced simultaneously. It is not just I'm done with Karma Yoga, now let me shift to Jnana Yoga, not like that. So when Arjuna's this particular problem was sorted out about why should I do certain things, and then for he got attached to much high. I should do it for the pleasure of the Lord. Purpose was not just to conquer these enemies or kill someone. It was for the pleasure of Lord. He wants me to do this. So when he got much higher purpose, that is Bhakti Yoga, and with his skills and knowledge, then he could execute his duty. Now, as a devotee, it is very important for us that we also should, whatever field we might be, we have to have we should be very expert in our own area. That is the first thing. There is one example of Vyadha in Mahabharata. It comes by profession he was a butcher. Okay, and he is considered a great devotee. Yudhishthira Maharaj went and had a conversation with him. This Vyadha, he told Yudhishthira Maharaj that although it is because it's my family business and I have been born in because of whatever my preconditioning, I am born here. But after getting all the knowledge, he told I myself never eat non-veg, although it is my duty. And he told few more certain things, rules and regulation which he follows. And he has been considered one of the best Vyada in that matter. So even by nature, by arrangement of the nature, even if somebody has to be butcher, he can be best of the butcher while even following the regulatory principles. So we might be teacher, we might be engineer, we might be in whatever fields. We should try to be best in our own field. That is a karma part, that we need to be best in our own field. But at the same time, we have to on regular basis read this Bhagavatam, read Chaitanya Charitamrita, understand the principles of Bhagavad Gita, and develop our connections with the Lord. So devotees, when they are they are not compromising or thinking this karma yoga or this duties, they are secondary, and if I just focus on Krishna, it can happen with devotees who are really detached from any kind of material sense enjoyment. They can go on just focusing on spirituality and they can progress. But people like Karma Mishra Bhakta, those who have some material desires as well as they are struggling to practice devotional service, it's very important that we should be expert in our own field and keep on building this knowledge platform and develop this connection to the Lord, become very serious in our Krishna consciousness. This is what will make us successful. If we compromise any of the pattern where we do not bother to develop the knowledge, or where we are not serious about connection to Krishna, or we are not putting enough efforts in our own material field of activity, then we are bound to suffer. I hope it answers to. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Yes, Prabhu?
You spoke about the spiritual master also, in this case of Shukracharya. And it said to be that we should fully surrender to our spiritual master, accept him as the guidance, representative, as representative of Krishna on the one side. But on the other side, you said also if the spiritual master is not fulfilling his position in a proper way, then one should reject him.
It is written in purport. Yes, it is written in purport. Prabhupada says this, yes.
How do you understand this discrepancy? We should fully surrender without, how to say?
Yeah.
Without hesitating to serve him.
Yeah, we have to surrender and at the same time discriminate also.
On the other side, we should also discriminate.
Yes. So the bottom line is we have to surrender with our intelligence. We should not surrender our intelligence. So when we come to the spiritual knowledge, there are three Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. These are three pramanas on which we develop the discrimination capability. So Guru is a spiritual master, of course. There are so many examples that before deciding who is your spiritual master, you should know his personality, kind of life he has lived. He himself should have practiced all the principles what he is preaching, the sacrifice and all, everything, austerity and all. So after knowing all the details about specific personality, then one can consider, uh, means all whatever the scrutiny need to be done, it should be done before. So once you are convinced that this person is pure in his heart, his purpose of life is to preach only Krishna consciousness, he genuinely wants each and every disciple of his to pick up Krishna consciousness very seriously and go back to Godhead. All this scrutiny or all this background work we can do for any person before surrendering. And after surrendering, we need to, every instruction whatever he gives, we need to then accept it that it's good for my spiritual progress. Our questions also should be good for my spiritual, also should be, means the interaction with spiritual master is all about spiritual progress. I cannot go and ask my spiritual master in which stocks I should invest my money so that it becomes double in a year. That is not an inquiry for a spiritual master. Or for that matter, any kind of material requirement, we should better approach some professionals who are good in their fields. Spiritual master is a professional in spirituality. He is fully capable that as long as his instructions are being followed, the disciple can progress in spirituality, and even to the extent that he can be eligible to go back to Godhead. So the primary duty of spiritual master is every situation encourage his, whether he's going in very good phase of life, in challenging phase, suffering phase, whatever, enable his disciple to see the situation from Krishna conscious perspective. How, what qualities I can develop while going through this situation? How can I increase my level of surrender? So when with that guidance, disciple will definitely progress. When it comes to family priest like Shukracharya in this particular case, although he is called as spiritual master, but his guidance was not leading to more surrender towards the Lord. In fact, it was backtracking the promise, breaking religious principles, not surrendering to the Lord, protect your material opulence, and if disagree with spiritual master, then go ahead with the material ruin. That kind of situation Bali Maharaj was facing. So for him, it made perfect sense not to listen to the instruction of Shukracharya. Bali Maharaj, in fact, did not ridicule Shukracharya or he did not curse Shukracharya, counter curse him after whatever he spoke. He just decided not to listen to his instruction. That's it. So he did not even disrespect Shukracharya in that sense. His disrespect was only to the extent that not listening to his instruction. So some of us might be having respect for many other spiritual personalities as long as they help us leading or becoming more serious in Krishna consciousness. Those instructions are helpful, but if some instructions are only progress in material life, specifically at the expense of spiritual life, then we should not follow such instructions. So that discriminating capability, as I mentioned, Guru Sadhu Shastra, other sadhus what they are saying, the scriptures what they are saying, for this we ourselves has to read the scriptures. We ourselves should have, we have to nourish our intelligence on regular basis. And it is said that it takes a village to grow a child. So for any personality to develop his intelligence from various angles, it's very important that we listen from various personalities, because we always can derive nice spiritual principles from our own spiritual master, from many other disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and so many other now grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada who keep on giving instructions. So it's very important we listen to multiple sadhus, we listen to our own spiritual master, we read the scriptures regularly. That's how we directly listen from Srila Prabhupada. That's how we develop the spiritual maturity, and it enables us to take a proper decisions. And even if some instruction at some point of time we are not able to follow, or if we think that at this point of time I may not be able to apply it, okay, you can park it for a while, or you can even you decide not to follow. That's up to us. But our responsibility is we should do our part, that doing sadhana and swadhyaya on regular basis, seva on regular basis, sadachar, sangha, all whatever Maharaj quoted. It is very important that we do this on regular basis as our part. Thank you, bro. Yeah,
No, please, please.
it's okay. Yes, bro.
Okay, I kind of have a follow-up question to your, and you talk about multiple sources. This is the Shiksha principle, right?
Yeah, we can have multiple
So-
Shiksha Guru. Yeah.
So how does one know when to take a Shiksha Guru, or what qualifies one as a Shiksha Guru?
Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru you're talking about? Shiksha? Shiksha Guru, we can have thousands of them. There is no problem at all.
Yeah, but when you think, okay, this is good for me now to take a Shiksha, you have a Diksha Guru maybe, and then you think, okay, maybe I need now a Shiksha Guru.
No, Shiksha Guru comes much before Diksha Guru. So from any personality which inspires you in spiritual life, he can be Shiksha Guru. You can hear his classes, you can ask him questions. There can be multiple Shiksha Gurus, not a problem. Only once somebody is convinced in Shiksha, then he can proceed to the level of Diksha.
I talk more of a formal Shiksha, you know. Like you say, this is also Shiksha, but in ISKCON it's actually the case that you can take Shiksha in a more formal way, not only
Like
talk
Bhakti
with someone.
Shastri or some courses.
No, it's almost like taking Shiksha. I understand. Like it was Hari Prasad Prabhu, he talked about this topic, and he said that there's actually some formality behind this, and that you build a fixed relationship with the Shiksha Guru also, while having a Diksha Guru.
Okay, I'm not aware of any such formality. Diksha Guru is definitely we need some process. For Shiksha Guru, it is we just directly approach. So I cannot comment on that.
Yeah, he said that it's very unknown.
Okay, I'm not aware about it. Thanks, yes, bro.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the good class. I was just thinking of Vamadev asking these 3 bases of land. This might be a little technical, but actually he didn't even need the second step, because the second step
Yeah.
is the outer space. Only the first step is somebody's hand. So I was just wondering, sometimes it uses 3 bases of land, sometimes it's the 3 steps of Vamadev, and Vamadev puts the second step and he's asking third step. I mean, I sometimes get confused with the terminology. Like, any comment on that?
Okay, I also thought Vamandev could have just asked only two steps, one for to cover universe, one two for Bali Maharaj. Technically, yes, because from Vishnu's body, so many universes are emanating. For him, within a fingertip or even a small part of any of his body, he can just take over the entire universe. I think this three should have some kind of spiritual significance. That's what I can understand. And then, so one thing in one step, he actually took over all the cognizable universe, what we actually know, all the planetary systems, and uh, which we can inhabit it in one place. In the second phase, he took entire outer space, which we anyway cannot approach also, but still that's a part of this universe. So later in the second step, he took the entire universe, and that's where the Ganga also started flowing in. So these two steps signifies that cognizable universe and even non-cognizable universe for us. And third phase was specifically reserved for Bali Maharaj surrendering ego episode. So I just take it that way. Thank you. Yes.
Just wanted to add this question to you. If you want your Shiksha Guru to exchange your Diksha Guru, I mean that, understand? Then you should formalize. But if you want just to listen to lectures and ask questions and you are infused by such a guru, then you don't need to formalize. And that's why you can have thousands shikshas in one diksha. And many times but you can see our Guru Parampara is not Diksha Guru Parampara, it is Shiksha Guru Parampara.
Yes.
That's why you can have Shiksha from every senior devotee,